Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. Cristiano Ronaldo 3, Spurs 0. So I'm here with my two good friends, Kevin and Jordan, and it's a rare episode of a happy, boisterous, no Turby Stand today, just positivity all the way. Jordan, Ronaldo, he's washed up, shouldn't be in the side. You know, he's 37, shouldn't be there. He's the problem, apparently. He wasn't the problem today, Jordan.
He definitely wasn't the problem today. Jay, you said Spurs, it was 3-0. They did score 2 goals, Jay. I know it was a good result, but let's not forget about the goals they did score, even though we give them
Well, that penalty was Mickey Mouse, right? That penalty was Mickey Mouse. And their second goal came off a fridge. So I'm also discounting that goal as well. So me saying 3-0 was actually deliberate.
Okay, no problem. Clean sheet, lovely. So, yeah, great result. I was saying to Drawty just before we went live, I've actually forgot what it's like to feel positive on the weekend with a win, and it sort of reminds me of why we love the game. It was great to see Ronaldo haters have suddenly crawled back under the rocks that they came from. He's the greatest of all time, and we should embrace him while he's here. Any issues that we've got in our team we had before he came, and I'm sure we'll still have when he's gone. So we have to enjoy him while we can.
Yeah, we have Kevin Ronaldo, 807 career goals. I think it was his 59th career hat-trick. Moves him up to officially the highest goal scorer of all time. Now, I'm sure next week, Pele will come out with another 500 goals that he scored in his back garden. But officially, Ronaldo has 807 career goals. So today, Kevin, how are you feeling? No Ronaldo, today we lose that game. No question about it. So, floor is yours, my friend. It's a happy stand.
It's a happy stand, yeah.
Happy stand.
God,
Yes.
not used to this, mate. But listen, it's an emotional roller coaster, and we knew that when we brought Cristiano Ronaldo back to Manchester United, it was going to be that. Now, one thing I did say from the Manchester derby was that I didn't think it made any difference at all that Ronaldo was not in that team. And that is simply because, man for man, Manchester City are just head and shoulders above us. So I didn't think Ronaldo would make any difference. But in a game like this today, I mean, come on, that was just absolutely sensational. To even see Sir Alex Ferguson, the man that brought him to Old Trafford in the crowd, witnessing something like that, and at the grand old age of whatever Ronaldo is, and as you rightly say, there's people that have questioned him, the likes of Paul Merson and that, all these dickheads in the press are all like, oh, you know, he ain't got the legs anymore and that. And how many times on the United Stand have we said, if you play to his strengths, which today, look at Jadon Sancho is in absolutely fantastic form. He puts that ball on a plate for him. The first goal Ronaldo scores is just rolling back the years. There is nothing you can do about that. From a Tottenham perspective, you would say you need to close him down quicker. The minute he takes them 2 touches out of his foot, looks up, you know, bang, and the header. Again, we always say, play to the strengths of the striker, whether it's Cavani or Ronaldo. You put a ball in like that, and Ronaldo rises, leaps like a salmon. Fantastic, absolutely a freak of nature. Arguably, I will say arguably, because there'll be people that will still throw this debate about Messi or Ronaldo or whatever. Ronaldo is actually doing it at Manchester United. And I am honest enough to say that we are not a great football team. Yet he's just bagged a hat-trick against Tottenham today. And I'm absolutely it's over the moon, man. It was just absolutely fantastic to see. And I will tell you one thing. I know it sounds a bit Kevin Keegan like this, so the way I'm carrying on, but he has got Harry Maguire out of jail. Cristiano Ronaldo plays at the front of the park, the top, leading that line. And at the back, you've got that joker, right? And he has just got him out of jail big time. If ever there was any argument about the fact that the captaincy at Manchester United, you've just seen an absolute masterclass. And at 2-2, after Harry Maguire, what is he doing? I don't know. The own goal, that schoolboy stuff. And he places the ball. He puts us in a very bad situation. It's just very lucky for Harry Maguire that we've got Cristiano Ronaldo today, because he's got us out of jail. Absolutely brilliant. Can't fault him at all. But again, if you're Ronaldo, you come off to a standing ovation, and in the changing rooms, we know there's rifts in this dressing room, and he will certainly be looking at Harry Maguire and going, "You're the captain of United, are you?" Yeah, right, fair enough. But for me, Ronaldo, captain material. No bones about that one, mate.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them. He doesn't need the band. We know who our captain is.
Yeah,
you know. And the ironic thing is, like you said, there's supposedly this big rift between those two. That's Ronaldo just looking at him saying, "Yeah, I've dug you out," and everyone else around the team will look and know the exact same thing. I thought there were some really, really good performances today as well. You know, certain players really, really stepped up, and I'm sure we'll get onto it a little bit later, Jay. But yeah, I thought we played well today. We played well.
Well, I would say another thing about today is the fact that I know Bruno Fernandes wasn't involved through illness. Well, fair enough. That's what we're being told. But there is this argument, isn't there, that Fernandes and Ronaldo, when they play in the same team, are not as effective because they both make the same runs. So maybe there is something in that today, because Fernandes isn't in the team, yet Ronaldo has basically run riot today. You look at his shots on target, he was given space, and he scored 3 goals.
See, I think it's the Pogba and Bruno. I thought Matic freed up Fred, and Fred played with almost like with the shackles off, because he had the security of knowing Matic was next to him, and it allowed us to be able to be stronger going forward, because we didn't have to worry about going back as much. You had that defensive line in Matic, who understands the position a bit more. I thought Fred was great today, and you know my opinion on Fred. I've hammered Fred, but today I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, there's some great points there. I think we should definitely tease some of them out. Matic, I wish Matic was 5 years younger, because the way he can just sit in front of that back four, like a conductor of an orchestra, and just spray balls around willy-nilly. Matic doesn't really have to run, because he can read the game so well. He's like Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick never had to make a last-ditch tackle, because he was almost that half a second ahead of the play, anticipating what was going to happen. And if you go back to, I think it was a 20-yard pass that Matic played to put Sancho through before he crossed the ball for Ronaldo, like, would McTominay or Fred have it in their locker? First of all, to see the pass, and secondly, to actually make that pass. And we've had this debate about Fred and McTominay so many times. Maybe it's a case of, Kevin, you know how when you were in school, there was always 2 or 3 messers, and the teacher had to separate the messers. Like Kevin, if you and I were at school together, there was no way in the world a teacher would let us sit together, because we just take the piss and have the crack the whole way. You'd be sat at the back, I was at the front, as far away from each other. So maybe the fact of the matter is, when Fred and Scott play together, they make each other look far worse than they actually are. Yeah. I've seen Scott put in decent performances for Matic, and today, Fred, and we've all fight him off many times. As you said, Jordan, you're correct. The fact that he knew Matic was there behind him, it was almost a security blanket. He could do his thing. He could push forward. And I like that. But the issue then today, on that flip side then, was, I think, for me, guys, and come back at me, I thought Bentancur today had Pogba in his pocket. I didn't see very much from Pogba today. A lot of fans were musing about, Pogba in the 10 today. He's going to show up Bruno. We're going to see the real Pogba in the 10. If that's the real Pogba, back to the statement, the show we had Thursday night. Well, good luck and goodbye. So I think there is definitely green shoots take from today. Spurs, they're no worse or no better than us. We're around the same level. Let's be fair. We're around the same level. But I thought today, Matic and Fred were, I won't say excellent, but they played above themselves playing that midfield. And I know, obviously, Ronaldo, and rightly so, will get all the plaudits. But I think Matic and Fred deserve a lot of praise today, as does Alex Telles. Yeah. I think it was the first half he put in that sublime cross for Ronaldo. And then obviously the corner kick he put in just literally lands it into the air. You know, the cross that comes in, it's not a bullet cross. It just kind of floats in the air, allowing a player like Ronaldo, who has neck muscles stronger than most people's biceps. He literally out-muscled and outmanned Matt Doherty and back of the net. And there's very few players in the game that can let that ball hang at the last second, have the strength of mind and the awareness to just literally out-muscle and outman the defender. And we're lucky today it was Ronaldo. The one thing today Pogba did that I liked was his professional foul on the 88th minute in Harry Kane.
Yeah, I love that.
Because it stopped the counter-attack. I think he actually stood on his instep. For me today, that was probably his net contribution to the game. Now, maybe people in the live chat will see it differently. And if you do, by all means, because I have my own notion of what Paul Pogba should be doing today in the 10. But guys, by all means, comment away because I like to read them. I just want to touch back on Harry Maguire for 2 minutes. And if there was ever any doubt, I'm going to take Adam's analogy. We have the Rolls Royce beside the Lada Revo. Well, today the Lada Revo became a donkey. I thought Maguire today was he's pathetic. He's a poor imitation of a defender, and I was waiting for Gary Neville to call him out on Sky Sports. He didn't. And what they actually touched on was the Spurs player screaming in his face after he scored. I'm sorry, poor Harry, you messed up. A player's going to scream in your face. That's what they touched on. It's almost like they just glossed over another error performance. Now, the fans are going to say, oh, but Jay, everyone makes mistakes. He makes mistakes week in, week out, game in, game out. And today, Ronaldo's elite brilliance apart, we take 1 point and the top 4 race would be dead and dusted. Personally, I think it already is with Arsenal having 4 games in hand. But today, Maguire, as you said, he should be going back and building a shrine in his house to Ronaldo because he saved his bacon today.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. And I think you could see the way he went over and celebrated with Ronaldo. That's the first time I've really seen him go over and celebrate to that level. Normally it's just sort of like a box tick, sort of tap on the head. This time, he sort of hugged him and whatnot. He knows he got out of jail there. But, we are where we are with this squad. We know we're going to make mistakes. We know the limitations of certain players. But we have to rely on other players to keep digging us out and getting us through the season until we can make the changes that we make. I don't think Rangnick is going to drop him. I think he will play him again on what is it, Tuesday. So we're going to have to live with it until a manager comes in and is strong enough to make the change and say, listen, you are not my signing. I don't fancy you. The band's coming off of you. And I think that's when we'll see a different side of him. I think he'll thrive with the less pressure of being captain. I think we'll actually see a bit more from him. I think he looks like he's permanently in a pressure cooker. Everything he does is being scrutinized because he is the captain.
Right, spot on.
Yeah, so saying Jordan, that's essentially the armband weighs too heavy on his arm. Basically, his bicep literally isn't big enough for the weight of the armband.
Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the crown.
Heavy is the crown. Well, not everybody can wear a crown made of gold. And luckily today we had a man that wears a crown made of gold and diamonds and sapphires in Ronaldo. We could spend the entire show speaking about Ronaldo, and maybe someday we'll do a whole Ronaldo career retrospective from Ronaldo, the teenage boy, transition to the world superstar. I think that would be a nice show that we could do maybe in the season. Guys, I want to move the conversation on today. Marcus Rashford. I tweeted out during the game that did Marcus have a sick note from his mom every day the club were practicing crosses at Carrington? Because today he put 3 lazy crosses into the box that Jordan, I know your son is just starting football. He's only 4. He probably could have defended, and my 8-year-old would have probably gobbled him up. So it seems that every show we're discussing Rashford, but I personally, I don't think he should start today. For me, it was Elanga all day long, and I felt after 10 minutes, Reguilon had him in his back pocket. I think Reguilon is go back to London tonight with Marcus's autograph in his back pocket. I just couldn't believe today how poor Marcus was yet again. And you put Marcus Rashford out of form up against cute as foxes Atletico Madrid defenders on Tuesday night. I think he's going to have a tougher time, Jordan.
Yeah. Just quickly before I respond to that, I just want to say one more thing about the Ronaldo point, is that as much as we needed the win, I think Ronaldo himself needed that performance. I think that was a relief for Ronaldo, and almost like the way he walked off and clapping the fans and stuff, it was just a reminder to him of how much he loves the club and how much he's loved at the club. Because I feel like over the last couple of weeks, all the shade that's been thrown at him, maybe some of that shine has been taken off of the fact of how amazing he has been for us. So I'm glad he had that moment, and it takes us into good momentum going into the game on Tuesday. As for Rashford, I feel Rashford activated McTominay mode, which is ghost mode. He offered nothing again today, and I don't want to make it a negative after a positive result, but I don't know if Ragnick's idea is to try and play his way into form, but it isn't working. And he needs to be ballsy enough to make those decisions to not play him, because he is going to have a headache when Bruno comes back, that he's not going to be able to play all of them. So somebody needs to be dropped. And for me, put Matic's knees on ice. He has to play. Fred has to be in there. And Rashford is the one that, for me, that needs to be dropped. It is Elanga.
Kevin, your thoughts on Rashford today?
I need to do this in a Roy Keane style, right? And I was actually just thinking in my head, and I was going to do, Rashford was playing today. What? Rashford played. Actually played. And that's
still Barat again. Like, what?
No, but I have to look, and I do. When he actually went off, even I watched the match in the pub with my son and that, and he was like, what did Rashford do today? And that sums it up. He's an 11-year-old lad, and he's saying to me, what did Rashford do today? And without swearing, which I would like to do, I've just turned to him. I say, absolutely nothing, man. I'm looking and thinking, I didn't even know he was on the pitch. Contributed absolutely nothing to this team. And I've defended this lad. I've stuck by him. And yes, I probably play off the fact that he's a Manchester lad and all this, and he's come through the academy. But there comes a time where you look and you question, and you have to put that to one side. And I think, where is Marcus Rashford's head at? What is going on? And then you hear these stories that apparently Mbappe will leave Paris Saint-Germain, and Paris Saint-Germain want to replace Mbappe with Rashford. And I'm like, what? What are they drinking over there? If they think that Rashford is a replacement for Mbappe, give me a text or whatever, because I need to know what they are drinking, because it's obviously great stuff. Marcus Rashford is no replacement, I'm sorry, for Mbappe. And today, I thought he was anonymous, absolutely anonymous. And how long has this been going on? This is not a personal attack on him because he just had one bad game. We're talking over a year, easily, probably even longer, that Marcus Rashford is not performing for Manchester United. And what is the problem? He's a young lad. Is it the fact that Jesse Lingard is looking to leave United on a free and they're friends, we're best mates, and he wants to go too? And I've said it before, I'm at the stage where I really don't care. I'm at that point now. If he wants to go, see you later. And if Paris Saint-Germain are daft enough to stump up some kind of mad figure or whatever it is, then you go, because you've got Elanga. And obviously Rangnick has looked at Elanga now, and he's probably seen more from Elanga this season in training or whatever, to go, this is the future of Manchester United. This is a lad I can shape, mould, whatever I tell him, he will do. And Marcus Rashford's career at Manchester United, for me, was summed up against Atletico Madrid. And we know the moment it was that when he sort of had the ball and you like keep the ball or whatever from about 30, 40 yards out or whatever against Atletico Madrid in that first leg. And he chooses to shoot. And I'm like, are you being serious, mate? What has just gone through your head then to think, I'm going to shoot from here? We're under the cosh. You know, you keep the ball. That is Marcus Rashford for me. He is the final decision thing has never come off. And I always defended him and said, if he can get that right and the final decision, know when to pass, know when to shoot, if he gets, there's a player in there. But do you know what I mean? This has been going on too long. And I look and I think, no, it's maybe it is best for the club and it's best for Rashford if we just cut ties and walk away.
I think, Kevin, after you said that, some of our fans in the free chat are probably you're probably just blown their minds, Kevin, especially the fact that you're both Manchester lads. Win. So we did win.
I'm not taking anything away. Well, I probably have taken something slightly away. Listen, I am buzzing. I'm glad we beat Tottenham today and everything. But you've just asked me a question about Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
And for me today, he was anonymous. He didn't contribute to that game. Everything is on Cristiano Ronaldo. He scores the 3 goals. I've already slagged Harry Maguire, which I will continue to do because I think every time he's chosen and given that armband, look at him when he walked out at the start. We've had captains like Roy Keane, Brian Robson, Eric Cantona that puff the chest out when they walk out. And as Jordan just said, I see Harry Maguire walking out today. He's like a rabbit in the headlights. He's almost like just some lad who's won a competition to lead, the team out at the start of the game. And he's walking out and going, fuck, 76,000 fans, what am I doing here? And that's the way I look at it. And I go, how he's ever like representing Manchester United and he's still got the armband. They're things I'm looking at. But don't get me wrong, in the comment section, absolutely buzzing that Manchester United won today. But I was asked a question and I've just given you my answer, I think.
Yeah, and Kevin, to be fair, you gave a very honest and succinct answer. Just to touch on Rash for a second, last season, we all pretty much gave him a free pass. There was the Manchester thing. There was the injury thing that we were saying was negating his performances. He needed an operation. We all said, Solskjaer is overplaying him. So we did, as a collective, make excuses and give him excuses.
Yep.
He still went to the Euros, which prolonged the operation.
Yep.
He comes back and he hasn't, I know the phrase, hit the ground running. He hasn't even got out of the fucking plane, lads. That's how bad he's been. And we got to call it out. And you go back to, there's a player in there, but maybe if he can improve decision-making. I saw it today, 3 times the low is on the overlap. And Rashford either has chosen not to see the low on the overlap or simply doesn't have the football brain to think, okay, I've got my foot back on overlapped, he's unmarked, simple 5-yard ball, and it's a cross. And Delo is a much superior crosser of the ball than Rashford is, and he doesn't do it. So, again, we could spend another 10 minutes espousing the negativity of Rashford, but I'm not going to do that because we've won, it's the happy stand. But when a player isn't reaching the levels of expectations that we, the fan base, have bestowed upon them, it's our job on this channel to call it out.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to be. Whereas Paul Pogba, Rashford, Ronaldo, Bruno, it's our job as a collective to call it out. That's just what we are on this channel. We're going to be honest. We're saying what a lot of you are saying in the chat and what a lot of you watched at home. And I think that is why you come and you watch us after a game, because we will give it to you straight, no BS. I want to move the competition on there a little bit today. Jordan, Alex Telles today. After watching Telles today, in my head, I was like, Luke Shaw who? I thought Telles had one of his best games in Jersey today.
Yeah.
Apart from the handball.
Yeah, apart from the handball.
What?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Jay, because I feel like the current form that they're in, that Telles is definitely pushing for that first team spot. I just feel like it's so important and highlights how important it is to have that attacking prowess from the fullbacks. We look so different when we've got that overlap and that additional threat. And we scored 3 goals today. You know, and it's not all about the midfield. It is about these fullbacks adding something to it. And with Basaka and Shaw, the way Shaw's been playing this season, we just don't really get that extra threat. I feel like if Shaw goes back to how he was last season and the way he played through the Euros, then yeah, he probably is a better player. But in current form, for me, it's Telles. I thought Telles was great today.
Kevin, your thoughts on Telles today? How did you see it?
As you quite rightly say, it wasn't long ago. Well, it is nearly long ago since Shawberto Carlos was ripping it up for England at the Euros, and you looked at him and you thought, look, you know, he's back to his best. He has not replicated that form at Manchester United this season in one bit. And the whole fact, I always said when he went back to United signing Telles, that Telles was one of the best signings United had made in a long time. And I've said it before. My mates were like, well, what do you mean he doesn't play? Because it kept Shaw on his toes. And Shaw did up his level for a while. He never had any competition at left back. So it got to the stage where Luke Shaw upped his game. And I'm like, sound, that's why Telles has come in to give you competition, because you've never had that. And at this moment in time, Telles, without probably even Shaw realising, has taken that spot. Would any Man United fan actually argue now that a fully fit Telles and a fully fit Luke Shaw, who takes that spot? It has to be Telles defensively and getting forward, final ball crosses on current form. Telles is walking into that team every time, and this is where it comes down to so many players in this team fight, desire, whatever you want to call it. Is Luke Shaw up for the fight? You're gonna have to be, mate. If you're not, it's as simple as that. You're off, and who's going to want you? You know, does he walk into any other sort of kind of top team in the top, let's say 6, 7 teams in the Premier League? I don't think he does. Luke Shaw has to reassess himself now and think, I need to really, really step up again. And there's nothing wrong with healthy competition at football teams. That's what we want at Manchester United. The Mourinho model, when he took over Chelsea, and at that successful stage, the Abramovich, the early era when Mourinho first come in, was all about having 2 very, very good players for each position. And in any walk of life, you want to fight for that position. If they bring somebody else in, if I'm the striker and they bring somebody else in, Kev, this is that, you know, and you want to be feeding off that and working. That should raise your levels in training. He's not having my space. Do you know what I mean? This is my space. I play for Manchester United. I'm the left back. And that's where you see the character of these players. And from what I've seen of Luke Shaw recently, I kind of look and I think, is he up for the fight? I don't know. I don't think he is, you know. And Telles, fair play to him today again, puts another marker in the grass and says, you've got a fight in your hands, mate, to get back in this team. Same on the other side with Basaka. We paid 50 million for him. And you've got Dalot, who to me looks a lot more livelier.
Do you know what, Kev? I think that, yeah, you are right. I think the one thing we have to remember is we know Shaw can go up a level. We've seen him go up a level. So you're right. Healthy competition is great. But on the other side with Wan-Bissaka, I think Wan-Bissaka's hit his ceiling. I don't think he's ever going to be that attacking dynamic fullback that we want him to be. So I feel like that, you know, the decision's pretty made on the right side. It's good to have the healthy competition on the left. And I think if Telles starts, Shaw has to have a word with himself and know that he needs to raise his game to a level that we know he can.
Yeah, and like Dalot signed under Mourinho. Clearly, Mourinho saw a player there, and he rated him highly. I think he was very young when he signed him. I know he was loaned out to Italy, came back. For whatever reason, Solskjaer didn't really make much of Dalot. He played Wan-Bissaka week in, week out, and a lot of the goals, actually the vast majority of the goals we could see the last season were caused by Lindelof being dragged over to protect Wan-Bissaka. So Dalot for me this season, guys, I know it's a stretch to say he's been a revelation. He hasn't been a revelation, but he has improved immensely after his loan spell in Italy, immensely. And he's far superior player going forward than Amon Basaka. And as you point out, Jordan, maybe Amon Basaka just doesn't have that attacking wing-back trait in his locker. Maybe it's just not there, which is kind of ironic for a player that started out his career as a winger. And we'll go on and on about the price, the 50 million. But as you well know, we said it many times in the show, when you buy an English player, you're going to have the United tax plus the English tax. So Amon Basaka worth 50 million? Definitely not. Maguire, 80 million? Definitely not. But unfortunately, that is the market that the club has to deal in. Gentlemen, we are on the happy stand. We are in fourth place, but Arsenal have 4 games in hand. So logic would dictate that it's really in their hands. Essentially, we're looking at not dropping points at all between March again and May, which we know, gentlemen, is not going to happen. We still got to play Liverpool. If we get out of there with a win, it'll be a happy stay of this year for the fan base. So, given the fact that Arsenal have 4 games in hand, the ball is in their court, barring short of an epic capitulation on behalf of Arsenal, we are destined for Europa or Conference League. We've just had a world-class performance today from Ronaldo. Can you see Ronaldo hanging around next season for the Conference League or Europa League? Kevin?
Well, I was going to say, if he wants to add it to his CV of never actually playing in it before, then yeah, he might hang around. But personally, I can't see it. I think Ronaldo will reassess at the end of the season. And as you say, Arsenal have these games in hand. The main thing for Manchester United was positivity kind of wise today was we didn't lose that game. And there were stages of that game today where you look at it and you go 1-0 up and then, Man United sit back and you're like, what are you doing? You know, take the game to them, reset back to 0-0, try and get the next goal. The thing, listen, if we'd have lost that game today, top 4's gone. And a lot of people will probably agree it's already gone. It was absolutely pivotal that we won that game just to keep ourselves in the mix. We have good players at Manchester United. And yes, as you rightly say, it is in Arsenal's court. They've got the games in hand, but Arsenal are Arsenal at the end of the day. Anything is possible. And I don't know, we've got to kind of play off that now. That's the only thing that I think Manchester United can do. We've got to do our part. And yeah, I would rather have the points on the board than the games in hand, if that makes sense. You know, I don't know. Sorry, Jeff. You're putting me on a downer now. I'm supposed to be happy.
I know. No, yeah. Listen. We look. We have to. Okay, today the win is fantastic, and it was a must win. But Jordan, it's like going forward now into April and May. Every game shall be pretty much a first win, or we are counting on Arsenal to drop points. So my question to you, Jordan, is: if we are counting on another team to drop points and lose matches, and we're not capable of controlling our own destiny, do we deserve top 4, Jordan?
After the month of February that we just had, no, we don't deserve top 4. But however, you know, Arsenal have been known to be bottle jobs in the past. So I think we just need to focus on what we do and keep putting points on the board and just wait for others to slip up. It's not in our hands. We can only do, you know, what we can do now. I think going back to your question about Ronaldo, I can't see him sticking around for any of these weaker European competitions, especially if in himself he knows that he's done everything he possibly can to get us to top 4, but others around him have let him down. Him scoring hat-tricks, him carrying us through the group stages in the Champions League, so on and so forth. If he knows in himself that he's not finished and he knows that he can offer more, then why would he stick around? You know, like he said when he came here, he wasn't coming here for a paycheck. If it was about paycheck, he could have gone to China, out to America or whatever. He's here to win trophies and still compete for the highest honours. It's not his fault that the players around him and the structure of the club now doesn't enable him to be able to do that. So I wouldn't blame him if at the end of the season we finish 6th or 7th and he goes, do you know what, I'm moving on. We can't blame him. We've let him down.
100%, Jordan. Like you've played in some of the biggest venues in the world as a DJ.
Yeah.
Okay. And as part of your career, you've played some of the biggest gigs in your career. You're not about now in your 30s to start winding down and go on to community radio or hospital radio. No, you're not. You want to stay at the high level you're at. And we all do in our careers. Why would you suddenly reach a certain point and say, I've done it now, I'm going to step down and ease into retirement? No, you're not going to do that. You if anything, you want to at least stay at the same level. Of course you do. In any walk of life.
Of course.
And that's how it is.
Yeah. When you have a taste of being at the top and winning and achieving greatness, why do you want to step down if you know in yourself that you can still reach those levels? And today, him scoring another hat-trick again, he knows he's not finished. You look at people comparing to Messi. You know, I got a frame on the wall. Draughty asked me to block out Messi because it's not about Messi anymore. But you know, Messi's in a farmers league in France and can't get to the same level that Ronaldo, who's older, is in a much more competitive league. So for me, that speaks volumes, you know, about where he's at. So yeah, if we get to the end of the season and he doesn't feel like he's finished, then I don't blame him for moving on. What does he want to do? Play in a European competition on a Thursday night, playing Cardiff Met and Barry Town? He doesn't want to do that.
No, listen.
No disrespect.
You're spot on. No, it's not.
Players that played for those clubs. I'm just saying.
No, listen. I take your point 100%. When I quit professional cycling, my friends and family couldn't understand why I suddenly just quit, and the following day I was done. Why I couldn't go out on a weekend and ride around with Norman Joe soaps, you know, and go for a coffee stop and a ham sandwich. No, feck that. If I can't do it at the level, I don't want to do it at all. And Ronaldo was going to be the exact same, you know. So I think maybe our younger fans just don't understand what it means to get to a very, very high level in sport or in life. And that's okay because, you know, it's all part of your life journey. But Ronaldo, you know, he is probably for me, the best number 7 ever to play for the club. And I even include Robson in that, Kevin. I do. I even include Robson. And we love Robson. But as Ronaldo, for me, he's the best number 7 that we've ever had. I know it's a different position, but he is. Yeah. So if he decides come May, look, it's been great. I've come back. I've had my swan song. But the players around him, for whatever reason, were not either on the same page or simply could not up their levels to get somewhere near the level it takes to achieve and win trophies. And that, for me, gentlemen, is the key issue with that squad. In Kim, one of the greatest players of all time, and those players' dressing room, they turned their noses up. They could not raise their levels in training, the fitness, and in games. The amount of players, guys, today I saw after 65 minutes running out of legs. We're now in March. Fitness levels should not be an issue. But clearly for some of the players, it still is. Because the last couple of years under former manager, Carrington clear was a holiday camp. I don't know what they were doing in strength conditioning. But Radnick took over a team that cannot recover from multiple sprint efforts. And 65 minutes, they are out on their knees. And today, we were lucky, we got away with one today because of Ronaldo. We got away with one. And I know people will go on and on about, the Glazers, Woodward, the legacy. But the legacy in that squad has been predicated by 3 years of an arm around the shoulder, soft manager, which has instilled a soft mentality. In comes the renowned, world-class, esteemed Ronaldo with elite mentality. And those players simply could not raise their levels. And now here we are in 4th place on paper but so worried about the results of a rival to get top four. And Jordan, I agree with you. Based on what happened in February, we don't deserve top four. For what? To go back next season into the Champions League, stutter and stammer through the group, and then be in a last 16 tie and be worrying, oh my God, I hope we don't draw PSG. Hope we don't draw Bayern. We are Manchester United. We should relish drawing a Bayern, a PSG, or a Barcelona. We should. And on Tuesday, obviously, we're all going to be up for it on Tuesday night. Huge European game. Let's bring on Letty and let's do them at home. But then it's going to be the following morning, oh shit, who are we going to draw next? The mindset will change, but you're not.
You shouldn't be scared.
I just seen the propaganda set up shots of Ronaldo and Tom Brady on the Old Trafford pitch just pop up on my screen. The Glazers will be licking their lips.
Oh my God.
The minute I seen him sat in there. But one thing I would say is, obviously, Brady in his sport, Ronaldo is the equivalent in football. And I was thinking, for any game to be brought to, and let's not beat around the bush, we debated about Ronaldo in the United Stand. There has been a few games where he's been anonymous, and some of us have probably gone, well, what's he bringing to the team? You know, he doesn't look interested. He's frustrated. But as you quite rightly say, maybe he's looking at some of these players and thinking, well, I'll throw it straight out. If Harry Maguire's leading you out with the captain's armband on, for somebody like Ronaldo must be looking at that and thinking, for Christ's sake, man, what has happened to this club? Standards have dropped. But for Brady, for me, who is the equivalent probably of Ronaldo in a different sport, he's just gone there today, probably being invited along by the Glazers, whatever guest of honour. He's just watched Cristiano Ronaldo score a hat-trick against Spurs. You know, and it must be like, wow, you know, unbelievable. He's just rolling back the years. He is just a freak of nature.
Do you know what, Kev? Just on that point, because I seen someone else in the comments say, "Oh, you guys were slagging off Ronaldo not long ago." None of us were slagging him off.
No, definitely not.
I think the thing is when you sign. I said this before. When you sign a player of his age, you don't expect him to play every single game. He's been let down by the strength of the depth of our squad. Cavani not playing enough games. Greenwood's situation. Rashford's form. These are players that should have been able to come in and play a number of games to rest Ronaldo and prioritize and manage the games that he plays in. When you're playing him 3 times in a week, naturally, at his age, he's not going to be able to play the way you want him to the standard he was today. You see, today he didn't play against Man City. He's been home. He's had a little sunshine break. He's seen his family. He's drunk some sangria. He's come back. He's had it off and scored a hat-trick. That's what you want from him.
Just that statement there, he drank some sangria and came back. You do know that his body is an absolute temple. Just back, guys. Just 2 seconds on mentality. Just 2 seconds on mentality. No, Kevin will drink enough sangria for both of us.
I'll do that. Yeah.
But guys, how we're saying there about the elite mentality and levels of a winner. We all know the story about Patrice Evra when Evra went over to Ronaldo's house for dinner. And all Ronaldo was having was literally salad and chicken. And Evra's looking for the pasta and the rice and the bread. There was no bread. You're having chicken and salad, mate. That's what I eat. And then after dinner, Evra is chilling out after dinner and bloody Ronaldo is going for a swim. This is just different levels. Elite mentality. I know, and I'll harp on about it, but if you want to win at elite level sport, the first place you got to change is here. And I don't believe for 1 second our players are switched on up top. Like Jordan, you said today about Harry Maguire, his body language leading the team out, how he doesn't exude confidence. He doesn't exude on the man. I am the captain of his club. We're at home. I'm leading you out, and we're going to do Spurs. Yeah. If you were DJing, you wouldn't walk on with your shoulders slumped, head down. No, you'll walk on cock of the walk because this is your house, and you are here to rule your house. But we don't see it from our captain. Same with you, Kevin. When you're in your job, you are the master of your entity in your job. and you do it to your best of your ability. Of course you are. And I'm the same in my job. So I don't get why somebody on 180 grand a week cannot at least exude some level of charisma and confidence.
But you know what, Jay? If it's not in you, if it's not in you, you can't teach it. Some people are leaders, and others are just followers. And it doesn't matter what you tell them, how much mental training try to give them. If it's not in you, it's not in you. In whatever capacity, you're a leader. Whatever you do, you want to be the best at it. How competitive you are in the FPL, to how you deliver and your preparation to each show that goes on behind the scenes that the people in the comments don't see. That is you as a person. It's not Harry Maguire, and it's never going to be Harry Maguire. We've given him an opportunity to be that guy. He ain't that guy. So somebody at that club has got to go, do you know what? Enough's enough. We're going to take the pressure that you're under off of you by removing that armband. And I do feel like he can go on to have a good career as a defender at Man United without being the captain. I don't think it's the end of the road for him. I just feel the pressure cooker he's under of leading the club through this difficult period in our history is too much for him as a person. Yeah. It'd be completely different if he came in and we were winning trophies season in, season out. I think he'd be able to steady that ship. But it takes a certain kind of character to drag this club up from its knees and to help pull it forward. And I just don't think Harry's that kind of guy.
Jordan, I think you summed up very, very, very well there. It's very well. I'm actually taking it back by those words. Guys, before we wrap it up, I want to give a shout out to a gentleman called, I got the pronunciation right, John Posada. And John had 2 VIP tickets to today's game. Meals, drinks, the whole shooting gallery. Was supposed to come from the States, couldn't make it, and basically couldn't sell the tickets. He gave the tickets away to charity. You know, I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but basically a young lad and his dad, the mom was suffering from terminal cancer, and John reached out to them and gave tickets away for free. I think the tickets were worth almost 700 sterling. So I think it was only right that I give John a shout out, because in this, I suppose, dog eat dog world, nobody gets anything for free. And I just thought it was a nice story. I just want to give him a shout out. So John, thanks for generosity. I'm sure the father and son had one of the best days of their lives seeing Ronaldo score a hat-trick.
Yeah. Nice. Big up job. Well done, mate. Love that.
Guys, before we go, Jordan, tell the fans where they can have the crack and banter with you on social media.
Yep. Twitter @JordanValleys, Instagram @JordanValleysUK. Give us a follow. Get in the comments. Love to speak to you guys always.
Mr. Rashford.
YouTube is Man United Vancam, and Twitter, Instagram is Kevin Ashford 7. Get involved. I'm not giving out the grinder one again. I got too many DMs last time, so yeah, you work it out for yourself.
Yeah, Kevin was inundated. He'd probably need a secretary to field all those inquiries. But anyway,
mental, mate.
And if you want to have some engagement with me, it's very easy on Instagram and Twitter. It's JDailyUTD. So guys, sum up: Ronaldo 3, Spurs 0. And as Roy Keane said, lads, it's fecking Spurs.
Exactly.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you all Tuesday. Good night.
Sure.